Did you know that the entire digital age might not have been possible without one man? Known as the Mayor of Silicon Valley, Robert Noyce was a small-town inventor whose work changed the course of history forever. From humble beginnings in Iowa to co-inventing the microchip, Noyce laid the foundation for the technology that powers our modern world: smartphones, computers, and even satellites. Robert Noyce wasn't just an innovator. He was a visionary who dared to challenge the norms of his time. He didn't just invent, he redefined how technology was developed, creating a culture of collaboration and creativity that still drives Silicon Valley today. His journey wasn't easy. He faced technical hurdles, industry politics, and skepticism. Yet through it all, he remained a leader, mentor, and relentless problem solver. In this video, we'll take a closer look at Noyce's life, his formative years, the creation of Fairchild Semiconductor, his pioneering work on the microchip, and the lasting legacy he left on technology and innovation. From his early spark of curiosity to shaping an industry, this is the story of a man who believed in making the impossible possible and succeeded. So what makes Robert Noyce's story not just extraordinary, but essential to understanding the digital revolution? Let's find out. Robert Noyce was born on December 12, 1927 in Burlington, Iowa, and grew up in the nearby town of Grinnell. From a young age, Robert showed an unusual knack for taking things apart and putting them back together. Whether it was fixing radios or building model planes, his hands were rarely idle. His childhood was marked by curiosity and creativity, traits encouraged by his parents. His father, a minister, and his mother, a strong-willed college graduate, instilled in him the values of education, persistence, and thinking outside the box. A pivotal moment came during his high school years when a teacher introduced him to the basics of physics and electronics. It was during a school science project, building a rudimentary motor from scratch, that Noyce felt the thrill of invention. This experience ignited a passion for engineering and problem-solving that would guide the rest of his life. Robert carried that enthusiasm into college at Grinnell, where he continued to explore his interests in science. His professors described him as someone who thought beyond textbooks, often challenging conventional ideas. It was also at Grinnell where he first encountered the budding field of semiconductor physics, a subject that fascinated him. Later, at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Noyce honed his skills, earning a doctorate in physics. It was here that he developed not only technical expertise, but also a collaborative mindset that would prove critical in his future endeavors. Surrounded by some of the brightest minds of his generation, Noyce began to envision technology as a way to solve big, real-world problems. But his journey was just beginning, and soon he'd set his sights on revolutionizing an industry that was still in its infancy. By the mid-1950s, Robert Noyce's career led him to Shockley Semiconductor, a company founded by William Shockley, the controversial Nobel Prize-winning physicist whose innovative work on the transistor transformed modern technology. While Shockley was undeniably brilliant, his authoritarian management style created friction within the team. This wasn't the first time his leadership had caused tension, something we covered in detail in our previous video about the invention of the transistor and William Shockley's legacy. If you haven't seen it yet, it's worth watching to understand the foundation of Shockley's work and the challenges that followed. Noyce, along with 7 other engineers, eventually became disillusioned by the lack of collaboration and innovation under Shockley's leadership. In 1957, they made a bold decision. They left Shockley Semiconductor to form their own company. This daring move earned them the nickname the Traitorous Eight and marked the birth of Fairchild Semiconductor. At Fairchild, Noyce's leadership set a new tone. Unlike the rigid hierarchy they had experienced before, Noyce fostered a collaborative and open culture. He believed that innovation thrived when people were free to experiment and share ideas. This approach wasn't just refreshing, it was transformative. Noyce encouraged employees to take risks, and failure wasn't punished but seen as a stepping stone to success. His approachable demeanor and emphasis on teamwork created an environment where some of the most significant advancements in semiconductor technology took shape. Fairchild Semiconductor didn't just make waves in technology, it became the breeding ground for Silicon Valley itself. The company's work on transistors and integrated circuits laid the foundation for modern electronics. Fairchild also nurtured a generation of entrepreneurs, as former employees went on to found tech giants like AMD and National Semiconductor. This ripple effect turned the small area around Palo Alto into a hub of technological innovation and entrepreneurship. The success of Fairchild wasn't just about its products, it was about the culture Noyce helped create. The idea that startups could challenge established norms and foster innovation became a defining characteristic of Silicon Valley. This ethos, combined with Noyce's emphasis on collaboration, would shape the region's identity for decades to come. By the mid-1960s, Noyce's ambitions grew even larger. Together with Gordon Moore, another visionary at Fairchild, he began dreaming of a company that could push the boundaries of what semiconductors could do. This vision led to the creation of Intel in 1968, where the revolutionary invention of the microchip would change the world forever. Noyce's journey from Fairchild to Intel wasn't just about founding companies. It was about laying the groundwork for an entire industry. And at the heart of it all was his belief that innovation was a team effort, not the work of lone geniuses. By the late 1950s, Robert Noyce and his colleagues at Fairchild Semiconductor were grappling with a major challenge in electronics: how to make devices smaller, faster, and more reliable. At the time, circuits were built using individual transistors, which required labor-intensive wiring and assembly. This method was not only expensive but also prone to errors as devices became more complex. Alongside Gordon Moore and other brilliant minds, Noyce set out to solve this problem. Their breakthrough came in 1959 when Noyce, inspired by advancements in materials and design, conceived a revolutionary idea: integrate all the components of an electronic circuit onto a single piece of silicon. This invention, known as the integrated circuit, or microchip, redefined the future of technology. While Jack Kilby at Texas Instruments independently developed a similar concept around the same time, Noyce's use of silicon instead of germanium and his method for connecting components on the chip proved more practical for mass production. So, how does a microchip work? In simple terms, it's a small piece of silicon that houses millions, or today, billions, of tiny transistors. These transistors act as switches, controlling the flow of electricity to process and store information. By combining all the necessary components on a single chip, Noyce and his team created a compact, efficient, and scalable solution to power electronic devices. The impact of this invention was nothing short of revolutionary. Microchips enabled the development of smaller, faster, and cheaper computers, making them accessible beyond labs and large corporations. They transformed industries like telecommunications, healthcare, and automotive engineering. For example, microchips made possible the invention of personal computers, mobile phones, and advanced medical devices like pacemakers. They even played a critical role in space exploration, powering NASA's Apollo missions to the moon. The invention of the microchip didn't just create new products, it redefined how we live and work. From ATMS to MRI machines, microchips became the backbone of modern technology, touching virtually every aspect of daily life. But such a revolutionary invention didn't come without its share of challenges. Noyce faced intense competition, technical hurdles, and the pressure of leading in an industry that was evolving at lightning speed. How did he overcome these obstacles and continue to innovate? Let's explore the challenges and triumphs that defined his career. Creating the microchip was a monumental achievement, but turning it into a scalable, reliable product came with significant hurdles. Early on, Robert Noyce and his team faced challenges in perfecting the manufacturing process. Producing microchips required extreme precision, as even microscopic impurities in the silicon could render a chip useless. Scaling up production while maintaining quality was a constant battle, requiring innovative solutions and relentless problem-solving. In addition to technical obstacles, Noyce had to navigate the complexities of industry politics. The race to develop and patent the integrated circuit led to tensions between Fairchild Semiconductor and rival companies, especially Texas Instruments. Jack Kilby, who had independently developed a version of the microchip, became a key competitor. Despite these challenges, Noyce maintained his focus on innovation rather than getting bogged down in disputes. His calm demeanor and ability to diffuse conflicts helped him steer Fairchild and later Intel through these turbulent times. One of Noyce's most distinctive traits was his leadership style. Unlike the authoritarian approaches common in his era, Noyce fostered an open, collaborative environment. He believed that creativity thrived when people felt valued and free to experiment. His approach to mentorship was hands-on and encouraging, inspiring his teams to think big and take risks. Many of his colleagues would go on to lead some of the most influential companies in tech, carrying forward the culture of innovation he championed. These challenges, technical, political, and cultural, shaped Noyce's legacy as more than just an inventor. They revealed his resilience, adaptability, and belief in the power of teamwork. Noyce's ability to turn obstacles into opportunities not only advanced the tech industry, but also set a standard for leadership in innovation. As we look back on his career, it's clear that these struggles didn't define him. They propelled him forward, cementing his place as one of the most influential figures in modern history. Robert Noyce's contributions to technology continue to shape our lives in ways we often overlook. His invention of the microchip didn't just make computers smaller and faster. It powered a technological revolution that put the world in our hands. It's astonishing to think that a small-town inventor from Iowa, with a knack for tinkering and an endless curiosity, could change the course of history. Noyce's story highlights the impact of curiosity, perseverance, and vision. It's a reminder that no matter where we start, the pursuit of an idea can lead to remarkable change. What invention do you think has had the biggest impact on our world? Let us know in the comments, and let's celebrate the minds that make the impossible possible.